I called my best friend and I told her I met my husband today. And what? A month later, we were planning our future together.
On Valentine's Day.
Yep, on Valentine's Day.
Planning the wedding.
We had Bible study and we were writing out our paychecks to see what we needed to start life together. Later on the next episode, y'all gonna find out
Oh man.
that things ain't go as planned.
Not at all.
With none of that.
There was a lot of, there's going to be a lot of people watching this video that are very familiar with us from back at home, from Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. From her family and people in Jersey and Delaware that are, kind of familiar with most of the stuff that's kind of been going on with it. But a lot of you new people that don't know, that were just used to seeing us on Facebook, or if you don't even know who we are and you're just kind of being introduced to us, a lot of those people just saw just the pictures we were taking and the life that, the little snippet of life that they saw. But there was so much that was going on, like behind the scenes, and good, bad, ugly, indifferent, that people had no idea about. And that's kind of what we want to do with this channel. We want to just be completely transparent with everything that we have going on with our lives as individuals, as husband and wife, as parents, with our kids. We're going to take you guys into all of this stuff.
We want you to come do life with us. Go through the journey with us. Yep. Because we wish we had someone to go through the journey with us early on. It would have saved us a lot of headache, a lot of finding out. We didn't have much of a support system as we would have liked. But life gets real. Yeah. And that's okay because we're still standing.
That's it.
Our story is definitely, it's a beautiful one, but it is not one without its ups and downs. Yeah. So anyway, so we started dating. Our dating life was almost fairy tale-ish. It was awesome. I dragged him everywhere. I took him to every restaurant, every museum, and he just went with it.
Neither one of us had a car. We weren't driving. We would just hop on the public bus, and we just go.
Get on the bus, get on the subway.
And now that we drive everywhere, we don't want to drive nowhere because we're tired all the time. Because we got kids that drive us crazy and jobs and all this other stuff. So,
But life was. Yeah. It was a little harder back then, but in some ways, but. I don't know. I think we found ease in our relationship with each other. Yeah. Life outside of us was very complicated, but we had home and rest and peace in each other. So that's what made dating awesome. Yeah. So, fast forward, I hit some interesting times with my family, and I ended up abruptly moving moving in with him.
That was cool. You want me to tell that part?
So no, I'm gonna tell it because. All right. Anyways, let me tell y'all something.
Look, don't bash me.
I'm not bashing you. I couldn't understand how your landlord let you live there though. Where were you? You were living on Belmont Street
in Baltimore City.
In Baltimore, there was a crack house across the street from where he lived.
It was pretty bad.
When you walked in, go straight ahead. The kitchen, the stove was coming out from the wall. There were no countertops. There were bugs everywhere. The floor going up to the stairs. If you didn't step carefully, you thought you were gonna fall through the floorboards every time you went up the steps. I mean, it was pretty bad. But I was so in love with him. I didn't care about any of that. I was just happy that we were together and that all the things we were experiencing in life were not tearing us apart. We really did find sanctuary in our relationship, and I believe God brought us together for those tough times, and that's the only way we made it. Yeah. So what interesting happened in that?
So after that, just kind of fast forwarding a little bit. I mean, we were still dating while I was still living in the downright down and dirty place.
A condemned building.
It was pretty bad, but it was all I could afford at the time. Times were like really, really rough on me. I was by myself. I didn't have anybody. I wasn't really working, and this was after the security thing kind of phased out. And I wound up getting a job at working at a hospital in Baltimore, and I wound up making.
We were so excited about that job.
I wound up making some pretty good money at the time, and we were able to move from that place. And mind you, that was just a room. We were able to move from that room to a bigger room, a bigger, better, nicer room, and we were so excited.
You would have thought we moved into a mansion.
And it was just a room. It was just a room.
We were so happy. We were so grateful.
It had hardwood floors, man. It was decked out. It was pretty decked out.
Yeah.
So we moved there, and we felt ourselves kind of stepping into life, because that was our first place together. It was a room.
And we were there when we got married.
Yeah. We were there when we got married.
And when we conceived our daughter.
Right. And that was another thing. We had a baby on the way. And,
And I told him I am not raising my child in the hood.
Yeah.
I am not raising my child in the hood. I'm just not going to do it. And he promised me that before my child was born, we were going to have a better quality of life. And after he promised me that, it maybe took him a month and a half, and we were out of the hood. We moved into our first apartment.
Yep.
It was only a 1-bedroom, but I didn't care. It was ours. It was our first real place together where we weren't sharing a bathroom with other people and a sink and a stove with, it was just nice to have our own space. We moved in there. I am huge.
At the time we were. Yeah.
And we were sleeping on the floor.
Yep.
Sleeping on the floor. We didn't have any furniture. We didn't have a bed. We didn't have jack. But you couldn't tell us that life wasn't good because we were in our own space. He was working at the car dealership.
I was selling cars.
He had gotten that is what got us out of that mess.
And mind you, look, let me just kind of go back. Before that, before I was able to move us up out of the hood into kind of the suburb area, we both lost our jobs at the same time.
Oh yes, we lost our jobs.
Right before that. Mm-hmm. She lost her job. I lost my job on the week.
day after I lost my job.
Like the day after, we were on our honeymoon, and we went on our honeymoon after being married with no job and no idea on how we're going to make it work.
The day of our wedding, we're like, where are we going to eat?
Right.
I was so cranky the morning of my wedding because all I wanted was some eggs, and we didn't have any eggs.
It was weird, but so I wound up getting a job at the car dealership, which was a godsend. It was great. I worked there. We wound up moving into a very, very nice area in Maryland, and I stayed at the dealership for probably just over a year selling cars. And we had this plan that we had put together like months prior, right? That we knew we didn't want to raise our new family in Baltimore. And that's nothing against Baltimore, but coming from Baltimore in certain areas, you know what I'm talking about. There are certain things you see, certain things you grow up in. We wanted to get away and start our lives somewhere else, right? And then on top of that, opportunity had a lot to do with it. We wanted a place that had more opportunity.
And
so,
we had made,
Go ahead.
We had made the decision when I got pregnant and we moved into our first apartment that I was not going to go back to work, that I was going to stay home and raise our children. And we were, for me, it was a spiritual conviction. We had a certain vision for our family, and we felt like, okay, let's be obedient to that. So living up north was not sounding like it was going to allow us to live out that vision for our family in a comfortable way, because I wasn't going back to work, and we wanted to expand our family eventually. We had a clear-cut plan. We wanted 2 under 2, 1 in each of our birthday months. We wanted a girl first and a boy second.
And we got it.
Yes, just like that. Everything we wanted. But yeah, we had the plan to move south because, like he said, it would open up financial opportunities for us to live more comfortably. And also, we just didn't want to be in the environment that we were. Granted, we were living in a nice neighborhood at that point, but we saw a brighter future moving south. But it wasn't something that we saw happening anytime soon.
Right. And we wound up going on vacation to Virginia Beach while I was still working at the dealership. And something in me said, what are we waiting for? Like, we planned on waiting like a year from that period in time. We said, all right, we're going to wait a year and then we're going to move south. And then we went on vacation not long after. And I said, wait a second, what are we waiting for? Like, we never actually established what we were waiting for, right? So, you know, we kind of just looked at each other like, I don't know, time, I guess.
Money.
And money, I guess,
that
whatever.
was my whole thing.
So, you know, then we prayed about it and we said, look, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's move to Georgia.
And that following Sunday, we went to church and we were like, God, if you want us to move now, please open up the doors for that to happen. Because we didn't see how it was going to happen. We went to church that following Sunday and the pastor was starting a sermon series called "It's Time to Move."
I could have
If you're
swore.
thinking about moving, this message is for you. You are supposed to move. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this a joke?
I'm like, look, there's something. This dude had to be in our bedroom or something. There's no way that we could have been talking about moving and being, you know, I don't
On
know.
the fence about it.
Yeah, and then he just come out of nowhere talking about it's time to move. So anyway, so we took that, and that was the sign, and that was it. I got a job over the phone. I landed an apartment over the phone, and we packed everything up into our vehicle, packed our baby up, and
We had a little Fiat. We got rid of everything we had and
we
packed up
rolled.
what we could in bags and threw our TV in there.
And we
took
rolled.
our
That's it.
9-month-old and
drove 700 something miles to Georgia.
yeah.
So, you know, fast forward, I mean, I don't want to, you know, go into too much detail about everything else, but we moved to Georgia. We lived
And
there.
all hell broke
and
loose.
all hell broke loose. You know, things were rocky, very rocky in the beginning when we first got there. We had the help of a local church at the time that helped us out tremendously at the time.
Shout out to Mount Carmel.
Shout out to Mount Carmel Christian Church down there in Stone Mountain. We, you know, again, like, things were kind of rocky, but then, you know, we were sent some blessings, and that's, I guess, that kind of is how I got into the career that I'm in now, into the construction industry, which has, you know, which has helped us be able to kind of afford the life that we can afford right now, and that's
It's been one little step after
another one.
We've questioned several times if the vision we have for our family was really what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Should I go back to work? Should we do this? Should we do that? Can I really homeschool the kids? Is this what's best for us? When things get hard, you know, that's what you start to use. You start to question the vision God gave you for your family.
Right.
But every time things seem to go a way that wasn't pointing towards that vision, God opened up doors for us.
Right.
Even if they weren't the doors that we wanted him to open.
Yep.
He's given us exactly what we needed in those moments. And it's just pushed us to just continue to be obedient to what he wants from us. We don't have an easy life,
Not at all.
but we are committed to being obedient to the vision we have for this life.
That's it.
And it's working for us.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful life. It's a simple life, but it's ours.
Yeah. So what we want to do again, to kind of wrap this up, we want to kind of let you guys know that, again, moving forward, as I said before, we want to be completely transparent with what we're doing. We want to be completely transparent with our lives, with our marriage, with our kids. Obviously, we ain't going to let y'all into every little nook and cranny, but we want to let y'all know that we are real people with real issues, real problems, real struggles, real happiness, real joy, real peace. So we want you guys to come along with us on this journey from this day forward. There's so much that you guys have missed, in regard to being there with us, which is why we kind of had to explain everything and kind of catch you guys up to how we got here where we are. So just moving forward from this day forward, we want to include you guys in what we're doing. It'll be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm
our
excited.
motivation for having this vlog is we grew up in a very fast changing world. Our parents raised us with a blueprint that does not fit the world that we live in now, and we've had to kind of figure things out on the way, and it's been hard. I think people in our generation can relate to that. We grew up thinking, okay, I'm going to graduate high school and go to college, and I'm going to have a career, and then I'm going to maybe do the family thing after I've saved up all this money, and we're going to, we had these thoughts of how life was supposed to be, and life has been everything but what we were raised to aspire to be and have and do and all those things. And life can feel lonely when you are being forced to live outside of what you think the world wants for you and what your parents want for you and what you even wanted for you. It feels lonely, but I think more of us are in the same boat than we think.
Yeah.
And we want to share our story so that people who feel like we feel sometimes can know that no, life has gotten real for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And a lot of us in our generation are experiencing the same kind of things. Those struggles aren't always financial. They aren't always relational. They aren't always, in one little aspect. But I think we share some of the same commonalities in various areas of our lives. Yeah. So we're going to share that with you guys, and we hope that you like, subscribe, and share, and come meet us back here next time. Until then, good night from Simply Selman.
Peace, peace, peace. See y'all next time.